Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the IRC 5s. We are currently in the process of setting up the game, pardon me. We will be with you shortly, and thank you for joining us once again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are currently in the process of filling out the game. We are waiting for one of the players to relog on and accept the invite, and I believe one more as well. And then we will be getting underway shortly. Thank you for your patience and enjoy the games. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the delay. We are currently having to remake the lobby. The client's a bit glitched out. One of our players has accepted the game. However, on his client, he's not in the game, and the server is registering as him in the game, so we can't re-invite him. And we are now remaking the lobby, and we will be live shortly. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Game 2 of the North American Reddit IRC 5s. Sorry for the delays. We had some trouble with the lobby and the client, but now that that's all sorted out, things should be underway. I am LRNC, and with me is Datcrows. How are you today, Datcrows?
I'm doing really nice. How you doing?
Pretty well. Ready for some good League of Legends?
Well, which day is not good for League of Legends?
That's a good question. We do see the bans coming out pretty early and fast, relatively standard bans. Blitzcrank and Malphite for blue team, and Shen for purple team.
Well, I don't know why, but I expect Cho'Gath to be banned. I don't know because I think that Cho'Gath is really strong right now, but from I have seen, the top laner for blue team has been playing Cho'Gath for quite a while, so I expect to be banned.
Oh, the Kazakhs ban coming out from purple team, really standard. Let's see if purple does go with that targeted ban next time. Um, Amumu still left in the pool. Who else? Elise still left in the pool as well. Kale, another notable champion, as Elise taken out right there. And Amumu as well.
Well, yeah, that is like banning the OPs or the champions that can actually um, just stomp, just like that. It's just pretty standard from both teams.
Yes, indeed. And now Bears 54 with the first pick for the blue team. Um, as we mentioned earlier, junglers still out there. Lee Sin, Shogoth, Olaf making it through as well. We do have Kale, a lot of first picks really available at the moment. Although they are taking their time here, you can tell they're really thinking about this as a team. And yeah, it is a Cho'Gath. You are correct. The first pick coming out from Bears 54.
Yeah, I mean, I expected that to be the first pick because we got Dash 12, who is the Shogat is his go-to champion. I mean, anytime he can play, he just plays it because he feels pretty comfortable with him. I don't know if he is going to build him like AP or tank, but I think this is going to be an interesting matchup.
Yes, indeed. It's too early to see if he how he will build. But Tarek coming out, a very popular early pick in the supports. Gives you decent sustain and the stun, always nice. As we see Hinan cycling through jungles here. Olaf or Jinzhao, probably, I would say, one of the picks. Oh, Jack's possible as well. And that's what it will be. I'm not a huge fan of Jackson in the jungle personally. Although we do not know if he is jungling, he could trade that out. But Jackson in the jungle is relatively lower on farm than you would want your hyper carry to be. So if you really want Jax to be that late game powerhouse, it's
Yeah, yeah, I think that Jax, I mean, in the jungle it's pretty like he has great ganks, but he doesn't get enough farm. But I have seen that he and I Tenshin, I mean the jungler for the red team, and plays a bit of Jax. So maybe he's going to the jungle. Maybe he knows some tricks that we don't know, and we're going to be able to see that.
that may be the case as we do see Jin Zhao. Um, Pretty much a very similar kit to Jax in how they will be jungling. Um, very Jin Zhao fitting more into the jungle role as he really doesn't need that much farm as he does have a really high base attack. As we do see Ziggs being picked up as well for the mid lane. And pretty much insta-locks as well from Fuzzy, Alfalfa, and Fat Cow on Lee Sin and Draven. Too early to tell where the Lee Sin will be going. at the moment, as well as the Jax. A very open lineup, other than the bot lane for purple team. As we do see Graves being hovered over by Dash 12. Um, Graves, Soraka against the Taric Draven lane. I really would expect that to go in favor of the Taric Draven. Just because especially after 6 when the delete potential multiplies because of Draven's ultimate. Oh, it does look like they will possibly be going for a Kale support. And yes, that's what it will be. Kale support coming out here for blue team. And Graves as well. Kale will be alright in the support role. Her heal will be able to out heal Tarix. The stun gonna be better than the slow. I'd say actually I guess it's really situational as Singed gonna be picked up as the top laner for Professor Poopy Piss, who I'm going to love to cast. As we do see some switching around, Dash 12 going to be taking Cho'Gath. Currently, it does look like Warmugs will be taking Xin Zhao into the jungle, Chocobro in the middle with Ziggs, and Bears on AD carry with Graves. For the purple team, it does look like we have Professor Poofy Piss on Singe, Jax in the jungle, which, as we were discussing earlier, not the greatest jungle choice in the sense that you really want a hyper carry such as Jax to have much more farm than he would get in the jungle. Especially with the Lee Sin pick, I believe, unless they're specifically trying to counter the Ziggs, I like in the early game. It's really gonna be tough for Jax going into the late game. Meanwhile, Xin Zhao, a very similar kit, very similar kit, can do pretty much the same things. But once he gets a locket of the Iron Solari, he's gonna really, I feel, do much more for his team than Jax will.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we got Xin Zhao, this a pretty well-known pick right now because people started to realize how well he scales with just support items. Because we got, like you said, the Locket of the Sorority, and we're giving him health, the extra shield, and cooldown reduction. I mean, he's just so good at just like protecting or just jumping in that in just stacking HP and cooldown reduction on him is just going to work. So that is the reason why I think they pick at him.
Yeah, Xin Zhao probably the strongest level 3 ganker with red and blue buff. Just because he can just get in there with his E and then or not instantly, but knock you up really quickly with his Q, and you will be dead very fast. One of the top gankers, if not the best ganker at level 3.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true. Because we got he also got, he also have an AoE slow in his E. So if he goes into bot lane and he tries to like get into them at level 3, because I don't think that it's not going to be worth it, but if hypothetically, because I think if he gets the both of them with that, this is going to be two flashes, just like that. If they push early.
definitely. One thing to note is that there is no teleport for the blue team. This will allow Singe to split push at will going into the late game. If it does go that far, he will he will be a huge thorn in the side of the blue team. Another thing to note is purple team very tanky. Kale being in the support role, we saw earlier in the earlier game where Kale was just able to shred through a team. Just the consistent damage splashing around the entire team, but that was a middle Kale with a lot of farm. The support Kale not going to be as effective, really only there for the intervention. That ultimate should prove to be great in team fights, especially with Jin Zhao having to dive in to initiate as the game does begin to load.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we got Singe. I think Singe just wants to farm to get to that stoppable part of the game when he just runs around killing everyone and not dying. But I think that he's going to look for teleport ganks in bot lane. I think that we're going to see that quite a lot in this game, but I don't know. I don't know how that will work, but I guess that they're trusting um, Professor. Well, that is our name, so I'm just going to call him Carlos or something. So I think that he's going to be pretty well. I think he's going to be doing pretty well this game.
Yes, indeed. Um, another thing of utter importance is Armor the Fifth Age Tarek coming out from Professor Batman. There are actually two professors on Purple Team, a highly educated bunch uh, coming out here. Really though, the lanes Ziggs against Lee Sin in middle. Um, gonna be a very interesting lane. Ziggs with no real hard CC. Lee Sin should be able to dive at will in the early levels. Get some good damage in there. Possibly take him down pre-6. Ziggs, on the other hand, probably just going to be trying to farm out with his Q and try to pick up the CS where he can. Although he can harass Lee Sin on the CS occasionally, I believe depending on how Ziggs ruined, Lee Sin will do a lot of damage to him in the mid lane. And Gentleman Cho'Gath as well. In terms of skins, 4 to possibly 4, as Kitten Panda is yet to connect to the
I
game.
think that I give it to Purple Team because come on, it's Armor the Fifth Age Taric. I mean that skin is just awesome. We just need the Purple Team insta win with that skin. Just that.
We will see. Um, as we do see Draven going to be starting Dorn's Blade, as we do have an instant pause in the game.
So in the game, I think this is going to be an interesting game into the when we if we go into team fight phase because we got blue team. Blue team is like getting to someone and blowing him up because we got Cho'Gath lands a Raptor. Xin Zhao jumps in, knocks him up. Then there is the Six ultimate, Graves ultimate, and they blow him up. Where we go into purple team's comp, it's a bit more into to Kaiden, I believe, because they got Singed. They got Singe. I mean, he's going to just try to slow everyone. I think he's going to be like Rylar or something. And we got Lesin who's going to be able to peel, I think, properly for Draven. So it's more about kiting around, I believe. So we got two different team comps that are built differently for team fighting. So this is going to be pretty interesting because it's going to depend on how well they do in the I mean in the laning phase. Because if blue team doesn't have enough damage to burst someone down when Cho'Gath lands the Raptor, then they're going to get turned around by Jax, by Jax jumping in, by um, Lessing jumping in, by Sinch jumping in, well, running in. So I think this is going to be a pretty exciting match.
Indeed, as Kitten Panda has reconnected, I'm unsure why we are still waiting here. But really, the only form of disengage really that purple team has is the Tarek stun and possibly the Jack stun if he doesn't use his leap to go into the fight. So when it comes down to it, the chasing with Kale's speed boost, the slow, Xin Zhao's gap closer, Cho'Gath's gap or Cho'Gath's rupture, and silence, Ziggs' global ult, the chase coming out of Graves with the quick draw. I really have to put the advantage in blue team's favor for the team fights, unless of course if they're all clumped up, let's say around Dragon or Baron Pit, it could definitely go in purple team's favor as long as they are fight as long as blue team fights right next to Singe can get stunned and Draven can land a great ultimate.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the um, the blue team has the power to pick the fight because they got like you said a lot of disengage. They got the rupture, they got a slow, they got the Sinsa ultimate, which is pretty good if you land it well enough, and the slows from Ziggs. So I think in a larger engagement, I give it to I still give it to purple team in a large engagement, but in just picking the fights, in just a better team fight, I think that blue team has the advantage.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like Xin Zhao, or really Xin Zhao's play early game will affect the whole game. Really, is if he can get his lanes rolling um, early, he has that opportunity over Jax, I believe, to do so just on the strength of his level 3 gank. And then afterwards, if he can just get maybe one, if he can get probably 2 out of 3 lanes rolling, as long as they don't have to gimp one player, it should be fine. And possible lane swaps. I don't know if we're gonna see anything. If anything, I would think um, possibly against the Ziggs, but I don't see. I wouldn't think Ziggs being that much of a problem, and I don't really think we'll see any lane swaps after all.
Well, if there is a line swap, it's going to be a blue team or purple teams because purple team you gotta recognize that they got a Taric and Draven. That is a lot of damage. But in the other side of the coin, we got Shogat. Shogat is a great 1v2 because he's lane, I mean, he's sustain and he's like, he's clear. It's pretty good. So I think it's not going to be a lane swap, but if there is, I think it's going to be Shogat being going bot and sending I mean, yeah, Shogun going bot. So that is all I think.
Hmm. Hmm. Actually, I don't think Cho'Gath would end up going bottom if that were the case. Only because it's usually the usual thing is to give the 1v2 laner your blue buff. So if anything, it doesn't really make sense for them to do that here. For him to traverse the entire map. The only possible lane swap I'd see could be Singed against Kale and Graves. That could possibly work out well for them.
Well,
Really, if they give Singe that blue buff, he'll be able to just farm under his turret fairly easily and won't be too gimped by the Kale Graves lane.
I think I have to disagree with you because I think that even though that Kale doesn't have a stun, but Kale has a lot of poke with his Q. I mean, if he's in a 2v1 lane, then he's going to max his Q because I don't believe he's going to max the heal if he's not going to use it that much. So and since being a melee champion and his play wave clearing ability is melee as well. So if they play it right, I think that Graves and Kale can do more damage to Singe and let him without farm. But I think they have more pushing power as well because you have to remember Kale has his E, which is a great pushing power. Has a great pushing power as well as Graves Q. So in 2v1s, the blue team has an advantage.
Yes, definitely. We do see Kale taking the Q first already, not even in lane. Uh, kind of surprising there. Actually, or I'm totally stupid. That is the passive. Uh, Misjudgment by me. We do see no one really selecting skills yet on blue team. Checking out purple team. Same thing on their side. I guess we are really not really. Yeah, we're too early into the game right now. In terms of level 1 invades, I'd have to get. It's fairly even as if Jax does level that Counter Strike first. Both teams having very very strong invades. We could see um, cross map invades or counter invades. Very very. I'd really like to see that.
Yeah, that is true because both team have a great a great pickup potential because they got a slow at level one, they got a knock up at level one, and if they got an hour slow, if Shin picks up the E or he can pick up the Q, but I don't think that's going to happen. And but the purple team has an ability to face check a bush with Lesin. They got an AoE stun. They got a fling, which is going to be Singe. They got an stun, and they got Draven. So I think that it's into purple team's favor.
Hmm. Yeah, they do have that one more CC than the blue team when it does come down to it. It will come down to positioning on the initial invades if they do occur at all.
Yeah, that's true. And we see Lesin, well, we see Lesin picking up two wards, so I think he wants to be fairly safe. Like you said, Xin Sao is going to be looking to gank him pretty early because he's going to try to protect the Ziggs, who I think Lesin is going to start jumping into him when he gets to level 4, level 5. So he just wants to be around that. And Lesin wants to be safe because he knows that he has to do that.
Yeah,
And
very
he picked it up.
standard start coming out from Lee Sin. Visibility always important, especially in mid lane. You never want to give up that the early frag to your opponent. It just sets you back that much more.
Yeah, and we got the night pod. Because everyone who has played against Ziggs knows how much poke he can do with just his autos. That is a pre-consent start from Lazine because he knows he's going to get poked down. He knows that if he doesn't get level 6 or if he gets behind 6, so he's going to get smashed. He's not going to be able to kill him. So that is just all. That is what decides um, what he wants to do. He wants to get that level 6. He wants to be more. He wants to get like the Vampire Scepter, like Dorn's Blair or something. Because everyone knows that Lessine needs to be more than level 5 to be stronger. To be stronger than the other mid laner. So now we see the Professor Batman reconnecting, which is pretty awesome because I'm just saying random things right now.
Yeah, killing time is
So
great. Really, one thing though, in the later game or the mid to late game, purple team really just running a face smash comp where they're just gonna have to be in blue team's grill in every fight. And like we said earlier, Kale's E, the disengage from Cho'Gath, the range from Ziggs and Graves, probably going to play into their favor as we are live once again.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
And we are in game finally. Well, this is the second North American game of the Reddit IRC 5s. We are finally underway here. Currently a small 100 gold advantage coming out for blue team. Starting gold OP.
yeah, so we don't see any invasions. We just
Seconds until
play
minions
standard,
spawn.
but as we fine, never mind. So we see everyone in the blue team grouping up. So or they're probably expecting an invade because they know the enemy team has a Taric. When you get a Taric, you're looking to get some to get some map advantage or either wards or jungle objectives, whatever. But that is the reason why Graves is there. So it's pretty
Yeah,
standard right now.
yeah, definitely both teams playing rather defensive, knowing the other team has a great invade. However, if they were to engage, that would have gone in favor of blue team, unless Singe would want to waste his teleport rather early in the game, or probably not waste it as long as if he can get a frag out of it. Both teams just going to be taking their blues. Very standard opening for both teams. Cho'Gath actually starting with a Doran's ring, going into that top lane.
I think that he started Doran's play because he knows that he has sustain, but I don't believe that is the right idea because if Jax is going to be able to gank early, and even though that he doesn't get like the kill, just get him low. It's going to be enough
Yeah, as
to
we
make
do see
him.
Xin Zhao not going to wait for Jax to get to red. Instead, just going to steal it for himself. Could have picked up that gank had he waited a bit longer, but he did go for the early invade. Now will be going up into the top lane. Going to try and get this pick onto Singed. We do see the Rupture will hit Singed. Cho'Gath very low. Xin Zhao going to be chasing as well through. And the poison. And now we do see Fuzzy Alfalfa going back in and onto Chocobro Rain, and he will disengage. Jack's going to discover his red has been stolen. Rather unfortunate sight for him. Bottom lane, very pushed up though. It does look like Draven Tarek gonna push the lane. So used to seeing the Tarek Graves lane come out.
Well, I think that like we expected, the Jax is going to be pretty behind unless he gets a gank off.
We do see Jax going in. Or actually, Xin Zhao possibly going to be meeting up with Jax here in the jungle. Tarek going to land a stun here. Oh, Xin Zhao with a flash over the wall. Jax will leap over. Now, pardon me. The stun finally going down, but he is too deep, and they will not dive there. However, purple team still deep in the jungle of blue team. Jax going up to red buff. Going to try to steal that away. Even up the buffs there. As Xin Zhao did steal his red, sees him taking it, knows he is in the bush, going to face check it, goes in on Jax. Jax going to counter strike, will get away from that one. Lee Sin going to come in with the shield. Ziggs will miss the Q. Tarek stun does land onto Ziggs. Lee Sin going in, and he will pick up first blood on Xin Zhao. The fight does not continue as red buff will just be taken by purple team. That first blood going to be giving them a good advantage here in the early game. Going to Lee Sin, going to make Ziggs' day even harder in the mid lane. We saw earlier the poke from Ziggs really doing a number on Lee Sin. But once with the double buffs now, once he backs and gets his item or items, he should be giving Ziggs a run for his money.
Yeah, he's probably going to go for Vampiric Temper since Buster, but I think that well he's not backing yet, so I think that it's going to be a hard matchup now for Ziggs unless he gets some armor like he did. That's a pretty nice choice from because we gotta remember the new item that is going to be a pretty nice item to pick up against an AD caster, well, bruiser, AD caster bruiser, yeah, and with like Lezine.
Yeah, Lee Sin gonna show himself here in this top lane. Fairly questionable there. I guess just trying to make Shogoth think twice about every CS up there. We see the lane continually pushed for Draven and Taric. You see a small advantage in CS coming out of that. If that continues through the lane phase, Draven should have a fairly decent CS lane, lead, as we see all the other lanes very even. Cho'Gath upon backing, picking up the Chalice of Harmony, going to allow him to spam those ruptures, spam those silences out, and Xin Zhao coming out not seen by a ward. But Draven and Taric just reacting very properly, noticing that Graves and Kayle were pushing up the lane in a gank-like fashion. With that, they would not normally do that without Xin Zhao in the area, recognizing that and backing off properly. As we see Jax coming in for a gank up top. Cho'Gath will get away. We did not see Singed want to go in on that one. Lee Sin pushing up the turret, pushing up 2 turret in middle. Jack's going to try to steal the blue buff. Nothing going to be there for him. No wards going down either.
Yeah, I think that we see this match up top, and well, the chalice is not just for the mana because it's something cheap that he can get for the early game against Singe. Because I think that he doesn't want to get like
yeah, the MR definitely gonna help there.
Yeah, but I think he doesn't want to get into melee range because he knows that he's going to be getting fling back, and he won't be able to land a rupture or something. So that's a pretty smart choice to. That way he will be able to do well against Singe for the early game.
As we do see Taric and Draven going in on a Graves, gonna force the flash there. That'll be back up at about 13 minutes. Some good time here for them to really just take advantage of the pushed lane. I'm really surprised we haven't seen Xin Zhao down here more. The lane has been pushed quite frequently. When he did come in, there was no ward earlier. I'm very shocked, really. He has had to go top quite a few times, though, in response to Lee Sin. Or, pardon me, not Lee Sin. Jax, who now is going to be taking the blue buff. Will he pass that over to Lee Sin? We will see.
I don't believe that because I think that Jax wants to. Well, like he took it, but he's. Like you said, he was pretty behind already, so he wants to get that level 6 because everyone knows that Jack's level 6 for his carry, and more coming up the jungle when he doesn't have any money. So when he gets that, okay.
Xin Zhao finally coming in for a gank here. Uses the ult, will knock Batman into the wall. The ult coming down from Draven as my mouse goes berserk. And Taric actually ends up being eliminated by the ult from Graves. Really good turnaround there. The intervention not having to be used there from Kayle.
Yeah, and that is what's going to happen in teamfights. Because there's going to be a Xin Zhao ult. And you cannot kill Xin Zhao. You know why? Because there's going to be a Kayle ult. So that's what's going to happen in the teamfights. Xin Zhao is going to jump into Draven, who has no mobility. It's going to knock him up, And if you try to turn around and try to kill him, there's going to be a kill ult. So they just need to do something to be able to kill him at some point. And they're doing it because we got Draven at 79 CS. Winning like for 20 right now against Graves. So that is a pretty nice advantage to have right there, because in someone who relies so much on the damage output, since he doesn't have any ability to kite or any ability to respond to a dive team, he needs to have a lot of damage.
Yes, indeed. As we see Cho'Gath pulling ahead in CS in that top lane. Has slightly more AoE clear than Xin Zhao, than Singe, can push the turret a bit. As we saw Xin Zhao near bottom lane, going back up to take the red. That was stolen from them earlier. Back to this mid lane, we do see Lee Sin keeping up with Ziggs as in the farm, currently ahead and a frag ahead. Going for that brutalizer first. Ziggs building armor first. Just trying to mitigate as much damage as possible coming out from Lee Sin. Cho'Gath getting jumped on in the top lane. Will get away. Does have his feast stacks piling up. As Gray is getting dropped very low in the bottom lane. The ultimate from Draven will clean him up. Tarek going to try and get Kitten Panda. Not going to be able to succeed on that one. The pushing of the lane really limiting Graves and Kale here. We see the CS steadily creeping up for Draven. And like I said in the pregame, just the deletion potential from the Tarek stun and the Draven ultimate, very, very powerful. As that is what just happened to Graves in the bottom lane, as the turret will take some damage, as we do see Jax coming in towards top lane. And Lee Sin, it could pop, no, not a 3-man gank, as Singed will be backing. Fairly odd there. Flash coming out from Lee Sin, not going to find Xin Zhao. Meanwhile, Singed immediately teleporting back. Really odd series of events there. Not the best communication going on from Purple Team.
Yeah, I think that says that they don't want to do Dragon just yet, because Zinx, without that teleport, he is not going to be able to join if there's a fight, Dragon. So that is a nice thing to
let's hope that Blue Team recognizes that window of opportunity. However, if they do go for that Dragon, Singed will just bang away at their turret. And that would be a trade. Well, we do not know if that's a trade they're willing to make, excuse me, as we do see Xin Zhao coming in through the tri-bush. The area is warded for Purple Team. He does see that. He will try and come around through. No, he will be spotted by Draven and have to back off. As we see, in terms of CS, Jax still slightly behind. Both junglers going for that Wriggles build, as Jax is dropping a ward in the enemy jungle, trying to get that position on Xin Zhao, getting the red timer, both very important things. Trying to counter jungle a bit, nothing going there. As we see the Bruiser battle continuing in top lane, both players just sitting there farming, trying to chunk each other down. It's going to take a long time to do so. Both blue buffs have spawned. As we do see Jax and Lee Sin going to clear that out now. Xin Zhao nowhere in the area to help Ziggs with that. Lee Sin and Jax coming in onto bottom for a dive. Looks like they will try to dive onto Graves. Graves will flash out. The stun will come down from Jax. Jax is fighting under the turret. Draven will pick up Xin Zhao. Lee Sin does miss the Q under the turret. He does not want to dive in with that Ignite ticking away. Ziggs coming down should force them back. Kale actually coming down, going to meet Lee Sin in the river. Very precarious situation here. Kale going to be jumped on by all 4 members of Purple Team. The Ziggs ult coming down. Professor Batman will take out Kale. Now Fat Cow on Draven, going 1-on-2 against both carries from Blue Team. Gonna force them away, as Purple Team really taking an advantage there with 2 members getting really low and backing away, while we do see Singed falling down. The third member, who I was going to say was very low, falling under his turret to Cho'Gath. That really will cement Cho'Gath's lead here. I guess let's check the gold differences. Cho'Gath about 700 gold ahead, and Draven, 1,000 gold ahead. That is not going to do too well. The current advantage going to purple team. Still, Dragon will be an area of contention. Both blue buffs still up. Jack's going to be taking his own red. I'm very shocked, Datcross, that we have not seen any dragon fights yet, especially with blue team knowing that Singed had burned his teleport to return to top lane.
Yeah, but I think it's because they know that Draven is pretty strong right now. Because we see the item pickups. We got Ziggs going for armor. Wait, what's his name? Seeker's arm ward, which is not something you want early game, but it's something you need to lane against Lezin. And in Graves we got 2 Doran's Blade and a Vampiric Scepter. That is just early game, and I don't think that is going to be that much damage when we compare it to a Bloodthirsted Doran's Blade in Draven. There is
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
that's
difference.
exactly it. You're putting all the gold onto a tank for blue team, and all the gold really going to the guy you wanted on in your AD carry for purple team. Definitely going to work out in the favor of the Draven every time in that situation. As we've really, Graves having that one death behind in CS, working towards his Bloodthirster. Let's see how close he is. Very close at the moment. Only about 300 more gold, I believe, for that, unless I am off with the new changes to it. But still behind Draven. Has picked up his attack speed boots, though, as Cho'Gath continuing to harass Singed underneath his turret. And the bottom lane turret finally going down. That early pressure really paying off for them. Although we do see an engagement here. The ultimate coming down from Draven. He will be knocked up by Xin Zhao. Graves going to knock him down with the buckshot. Continues to auto attack away on Professor Batman. The knockup will come on the next auto attack. He will flash away. Ziggs trying to come down, and Xin Zhao will finish him off. With Ziggs coming down as well as Xin Zhao, they should be able to respond with their bottom turret. But however, we do see 3 members killing the top turret of blue team, and now it does look like blue team will be rotating into the mid lane, as Singed teleport is enough to stop their bottom push. And this is just really good play coming out from purple team, cementing their lead even further.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know why, but we see in Cho'Gath we see a Seeker's ward. We know that the only thing that it builds into is a Sonja's Hourglass. Though that tells me that he's going to be building some AP kind of carry Cho'Gath. So that's a pretty interesting. And we see Xin Zhao just picking up a Giant Spell. That is a pretty high.
As we do see Dragon going down to purple team, uncontested there. No vision at all, as it was pink warded for quite a while there. Tarek doing a great job, I must say, of placing the wards. The vision, very good for both teams, although I'd say at the current objectives, Tarek has been doing a great job in the lane so far, getting them that dragon. Now up 2,000 gold here, approaching 19.25 minutes. Draven really getting ahead. Those 2 kills going to even up the lane a bit. However, almost a full stacks on that Bloodthirster. We do have the ult going up from Draven. Going to clear out this top lane. The turret will be saved for now as Singed returns. As 3 members of blue team moving into this middle lane. Looks like they will be putting a lot of pressure here onto the turret. Graves and Kale slow to react to that. The turret will go down to under half health. Jinjiao will clear it. The Kale not choosing to use a speed boost there on the Graves. Lee Sin going to dive in, get out. Jack's going to dive, get the counter strike off. Zig's going to throw down. Draven going to be chopping back and forth. The axe is coming out. Really just more farming. They will wait for the next wave. With Ziggs, Graves, and Kale, I don't believe they will be able to do much to the turret, although with a good initiation from Taric or Jax, they really could do damage under the turret. And we see Singe going in on Shogoth in the top lane. He will be able to take him out with Jax's help. Meanwhile, Zig's going to be spotting out that brush. Kale going to run into Lee Sin. Let's see if he gets a kickoff into the wall. Will be slowed by Ziggs. And no, just going to be deleted is Kale. As we see all members now coming down. Shogoth's still alive somehow. Don't know how he survived that one. Oh, no, looks like he will go down. No ult coming up from Lee Sin, but he will Q him down. And now Graves really... Jinjiao going to be sniped by the Draven ultimate. Blue will be taken by purple team. And really just a 3-for-0 trade and a blue buff. Great work there. Middle turret still theirs for the taking. Draven continuing to get more and more farm. Really purple team taking a good lead there. They have not lost a turret. They will be looking to take the final outer turret here of blue team, making it 3 turrets 2-0 at the 21-minute and 40-second mark.
Well, yeah, I mean, they got right now a lot of map control. They're going to be looking toward around Baron. Maybe not right now because it's just the 20-minute mark. They're not strong enough, but I think they're going to be trying to just take all objectives around the map. If there is a red buff, they're going to take it. If there is a blue buff, they're going to take it. That's just that. And we see that they're actually not strong enough to fight them, and they just need to give it away. So what we see in items, we see Draven getting a recurve bow. So I believe that is going to be built into a Sword of the Divine. I believe that's going to be a ton of damage because he knows that he's not going to be able to kite them around, so he just wants to kill them, just like that.
I don't think that really blue team has a way to even get to Draven. With the really tanky comp that purple team has built, really the only dive coming out from blue would be an Kale ulted Jinjiao. I mean, I feel like Draven just sees that and he realizes he can just sit in the back lines, dish out as much damage as he wants, and really almost have no consequence. But yeah, definitely the vision, very good here. Let's check out purple team's vision in the jungle. Very good. They can spot the movements of blue team out very well. Dragon should be respawning shortly, as we do see Draven and Taric moving down to clear out this bot lane once again. Now a 4,000 gold lead for the purple team, mainly based on the 3 turrets on the dragons, or on the dragon, pardon me, as Singe continuing to split push, picking up that Roa, going for the Merc Treads against the tons of CC coming out from blue team. Meanwhile, a really heavy AP build coming out from Cho'Gath. Both compositions rather split in the damage. Pardon me. Purple team more attack damage oriented. Blue team rather well split between AP and AD. Possible armor stacking could come out of blue team, but a Last Whisper on Draven would quickly eliminate that. So the overall trade of possibly 3 or 4 items to be eliminated by 1, I wouldn't recommend right now.
Well, yeah, and we see right now Derek just, I think Dragon shall be spawning soon. There it is. And they can't fight it because look at Graves and Raven. The difference is huge.
Oh, Zig's coming out with a really nice Dragon Steel. Going to slow them down too. Singed going to pop that ultimate, and the Ghost going to try to toss somebody back. Going to get ruptured in the turret range. Going to get silenced. And really nothing should come out of this here unless somebody really makes a critical error. Singed going to stand in that front line. Already down to half health though. Not sure if he can really do much there. We do see a back and forth in this mid lane, the constant tug of war. Lane clear, very good for both teams. The range advantage definitely going to blue team. Quick dive in, dive out by Lee Sin. Nothing should really come of this push on the mid lane. I expect Jax to do some heavy damage to this top turret though. As we do see 2 members of blue team having to go there to react to a jungle Jax. We did say earlier that Jax would have some trouble in the jungle, however he is staying relatively even in CS, has not died at all, while Xin Zhao has had 3 deaths, and in terms of gold, he is keeping right there with him, only down by about 70 gold, aka nothing. As now the turret does go down, Singed going to get jumped on, but you don't want to focus the tank. Warmonk's going to be deleted. Lee Sin, Kale going to be deleted as well. The chase continues under the turret. Lee Sin going to miss the Q onto Graves. Will slide right back out. The rupture will miss, and purple team will get out unscathed. Another 2 for 0 there. Really pushing their advantage. Graves almost dying as well. They can easily take this top turret. They can't really Baron. All their members are too low at the moment. However, this does leave an opportunity after they do push this turret for blue team to counter Baron as long as they can hold off.
Well, yeah. I mean, we see right now the item. The item difference is what make purple team to just dive them, to dive them right there. Because we saw Singed just getting focused down.
Oh, Cho'Gath's going to face check the brush. Hold that thought. Cho'Gath going to feast on Taric, eat him alive. Draven going to get caught out, picked off by Graves. And this is exactly what blue team needed. Right now, with Cho'Gath up, they can take this Baron. They do have a 5-on-3 advantage, as Ziggs will go ahead and start the Baron. And this is exactly what blue team needed to get right back in this game. The smite up from Jax, he is in the area. That is the only chance they have at the steal, really. Ziggs smartly throwing those up there, going to be able to spot out Jax's leap incoming. The ward is welcome down from Kale. Jax standing on the edge, waiting for that time. When the time is right. No, the smite going to come down from Xin Zhao. Jax going to jump in there, have to flash back over the wall. Not going to die there. But really, the counter Baron, a real possibility there, and it ended up happening just because that was without the members getting picked off. With Draven getting picked off in the jungle, that really just brought them right back into this game. Let's see if they can push down some tier 1 towers. Most of them, I believe, are really low. Yes, all under half health, except bottom turret. Graves and Kale not really able to do much in lane against Taric and Draven. However, we do see purple team grouping in the mid lane. Cho'Gath, full feast stacks, possibly going to be intercepted here. It is red. No, it does not look like anything will come of that. All lanes pushed here for purple team. Map control heavily in their favor. But with the Baron buff, blue team should be able to push out their waves and feel confident going into the next team fight.
We just saw in a couple minutes ago, we just saw Draven picking up the sword of the Divine. That is a pretty high boost to his damage. Well, he's dead. So,
as we see Ziggs getting picked off by Taric there.
Yeah.
Draven and Jax getting involved as well. Sorry for missing that one. As Singed going to be putting pressure on the bot turret, going to be met by Xin Zhao, who will drive him away. Purple team coming down here through the jungle for a gank on Xin Zhao. This is not going to end well for the Demacian. Gets stunned by the Dazzle gonna get flinged by Singe, and the KO gonna be possibly wasted there as we do see a full engage here. Draven going to pick off Jinzhao, Singe going to escape, Kale diving in there, Draven gonna pick off Cho'Gath. Kale really all alone, the support not going to be able to do too much damage, will get a slowdown, but barely hitting Singe for not even 100 damage. Really just a waste of the Baron buff, that jungle engage. Engaging into a 3v5, not the smartest thing they could have done there. Really, any chance they had at coming back into the game, really just thrown away there. As now the inner turrets will be taken by Purple Team, really just going to cement their lead even more. I think I've said that at least 5 times now, so probably their blue team will be pretty stuck as they will lose their inhibitor.
Well, and there are just one reason to Xin Zhao getting caught. No wards in their jungle. He could not knew that Taric and Draven were going towards them.
Oh, well, no, that's the thing. When you have lost most outer turret or inner turrets, one has to take that into account. He had vision on them in the mid lane. They did go MIA roaming toward the bottom lane. He may have been fighting against Singed at the time, but really had just overextended trying to defend that turret, knowing that they could be in the jungle because you don't have vision. You have to assume they're there. Unfortunately, he did not, and he did pay. His team paid the price, giving up a dragon as well. Now a 7,000 gold lead for Purple Team at the 31.5-minute mark. Item-wise, we do see a Warmog's being picked up by Lee Sin. The Zonia is being completed by Ziggs. A Rabadon's Death Cap on Cho'Gath. Really going to increase his damage output. The Fiendish Codex as well for that CDR. Infinity Edge finished up by Draven. And it does look like
you're gonna see the
Graves
difference.
Also building toward that IE.
Yeah, the difference between, in items, is just massive. They gotta pull off a CLG, well, old CLG strat, new Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, I saw that game.
Because,
I think. What was that? DreamHack?
yeah.
I think that was DreamHack.
Yeah,
The hour-long
so,
game that was just the most epic thing you've ever seen. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, because we got Graves. Just let's see the carries. We got.
However,
Draven
one thing in that
has
game, though, I
Edge.
remember CLG EU having a new Caitlyn. And because of that new Caitlyn, they were able to really just hold out.
No, it was Tristana. It was CLG had Tristana, Anivia.
Hold that thought. We do see Singe going to get engaged on by by 3 members of blue team. They're not going to do much. He can just pop the ghost in the ult and get away. The ghost actually on cooldown. Really, this is just allowing Draven to split push the bottom. Jinzhao having to react to that. We see Purple Team now collapsing in on Graves. Graves going to get caught out by Lee Sin. The cripple will land. The Q will land. The Sonic Wave, he does charge in there. The Ziggs going to slow him down, and that does look like that'll be that. Cho'Gath going to get caught in the jungle, though. Jack's going to stun him and finish him off. Poor gentlemanly Cho'Gath. Please and thank you. Not going to save you from Jax. Even if you open the door for him, he'll thud you to death. Draven going to take that bottom turret uncontested. Really working on that inhibitor. There's really not much that blue team can do here. Just total control. Just base annihilation here. Losing the inhibitor in bottom lane. Losing 2 more members. Jinzhao going down to Draven. The second inhibitor going to go down. That is all the inhibitors. This should be the GG push here coming out, as 4 members from blue team are down. Lee Sin relatively low, and no, it will be a surrender vote coming out from blue team. And a fairly one-sided game. Blue team did have a chance to come back into it, but that was not the case.
Yeah, that's true. The Purple Team just snowballed the game. That was just so fast.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about earlier the lane matchups of Lee Sin and Ziggs, as well as the bottom lane. As we see Lee Sin going 5-0-6 against the 0-1-1 of Ziggs. You really saw Ziggs almost playing on the defensive from his items. Like the first, he was itemizing against Lee Sin. So once they got out of that lane phase, Lee Sin just able to dominate the rest of the game, as
Yeah, and
well as
Lacine,
Draven going 7-2-5 against the 3-2-2 of Graves. A
yeah, and
4,000 gold lead
Lacine
on
was
Draven.
just Lacine was just ramming the whole game. I mean, he was top, he was mid, he was bottom. He was just putting out that pressure that he needed to put as a mid laner, and I think that Lacine was the most important. Even though that Draven did very well, I think that Lacine was the factor that I mean that roaming, that pushing against Ziggs.
Oh yes,
That
definitely. Lee Sin was able to shut down Ziggs thoroughly. Other than the like first few levels with the poke coming out from Ziggs, after he picked up that first kill in the jungle, picking up those double buffs, he really made it a nightmare for Ziggs in that lane. Ziggs really unable to do anything all game. Barely 1,000 gold over their support. Not
yeah,
what
I
you
think
want to
that
see from your mid laner.
yeah, I think that the most important part of the game was that kill that he got. That was just
Yeah, that first blood definitely helping him out a lot. That really from there, you could see that Purple Team really, they were the ones dictating the pace at every point of the game. They
yeah,
were making
and
Blue Team react to them, and when you're doing that, you're most likely going to win.
yeah, and we got 8 items. I mean, Cho'Gath picked a Rowden Blood Cup against Draven, who was fit. I mean, yeah, he wants damage, but let it that to Ziggs or something, because I think that he did not need it to build an Athens. I think so. I mean, he got behind just building that item. He built it Seeker's Armor Guard, but he did not build that into anything.
So for MVP, are you going with the Lee Sin?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to go with Fat Cow's Draven on that. Just they understood the lane so well, knowing they would be able to push, get that early CS lead, eventually transitioning it into a kill lead once they hit 6 with the elimination potential of Draven's ultimate. Just really smart play from them. And I do believe we will have another game coming up for you shortly. We will be restarting the stream for VOD purposes for those who would like to catch the games later. Thank you for tuning in to the second North American game. I am Eleron C. For signing off for Datcross as well, and we will see you again shortly.
That was a pretty nice